Welcome to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm John. We're a couple of overweight barbecue enthusiasts trying to share our love for sweet and smoky food with the world.
Thanks for hanging out with us as we talk about life, share recipes, successes, and failures that have all led to our love of cooking outdoors.
Oh, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Fat Guys with Smokers. I'm John, here with Mike. Mike, why are you laughing?
Just these intros. You would think at this point that it would just be like, bah, bah, but I feel like we get tripped up and we end up laughing every time because somebody says something weird.
Well, this is episode 20.
Wow.
Can you believe we've stuck with anything for 20?
I was going to say
20 episodes.
Impressive.
20 episodes, and plus, this may actually be like 21, is the episode we did with Haley.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that had a number because it was supposed to be like for a rainy day.
Mm-hmm.
But it was too good not to share.
Yeah.
And then if you really want, we could, our boys' book report.
Oh, that's true.
Was on there too. That was a bonus, but, yeah, 20 episodes. It's kind of crazy.
This is a momentous occasion.
Yeah.
We should get those plaques people get for YouTube, like when they've got 1 million views, whatever.
20
we should get
episodes.
Something like 20 episodes. We never kids make it. That'd be awesome.
I like that. Yeah, we'll put Damon and Charlie on that. I think they'd be all over it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know. I remember when we were first getting started, like I was buying the audio interface and the mics, and Haley was like, "What are you spending all of this money on?" Like, I mean, it's not crazy expensive, but we've got a couple $100 worth of stuff and a camera, and she was like, "What are you doing?" Like, this is going to be like everything else. You're going to do it for a week, and then you're going to be like, "This is weird. I'm not going to do it anymore."
It is weird, but we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, every week, as we just mentioned, it's like, how do we start this?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, welcome, everybody. Now that Mike and I are through our awkward intro.
Yeah, we made it. We made it through the intro. It's all downhill from here. I don't know.
I hope it's not downhill.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get started. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today.
I feel like we've done more research on this than any other episode that we've done.
Yeah. And the problem with it is so we're going to talk about flat top griddles today. We're going to talk about 3 different brands, and we reached out to them. They all got back to us. Really grateful for that. And we're going to talk about why they think they're, the best on the market and what might work. Mike and I both desperately want to buy one.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is an interesting position to be in. Like, I feel like you might look at this and be like, you guys don't even have one. Why are you doing an episode on it? But I feel like as the buyer, you're not set in your ways. You're not, well, I just have this one and this is what I like. You're still very open to everybody's opinions and stuff like that. Yeah. At least that's what I'm telling myself.
And my opinion's changed as I've gone through this.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the good things and bad things of doing research is normally when I don't do research, I let my wallet do the decision making, and it's more a cost to benefit quick analysis. Now I'm looking at it and I'm like, maybe there is a reason that one costs $900, and do I want to sit around and save my pennies longer? So, but before we do that, let's do a shout out.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
I wanted to do a shout out for Downright Delicious. So it's down.right delicious on Instagram. And I'm pretty sure he's on Facebook. He's probably on TikTok. We really just need to bite the bullet and get on TikTok. But dude, did you see Montana tried to pass a law this week banning TikTok in the state of Montana?
Really?
Yeah. I just saw the headline. I didn't read all the details of how they were even going to try and enforce it, but
It's a thing, man. Like, this is a school-issued iPad, and it can't get TikTok because the government has a ban on it or whatever. Like, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So
maybe we'll stay off it. Maybe we're ahead of the curve. It's happening again.
Hi, Siri.
Sorry.
Wouldn't
be an episode without
just
me
turned
Siri.
mine on saying that. But anyway, so Drew has Down syndrome, but is out there making some awesome content. He's lots of times in life we run up against challenges and we have hard things happen. I don't have anything as hard as what he's got going on. Mm-hmm. But he has embraced it and has just taken the challenges that he's gotten, made it really cool. He's got some cool catchphrases and the way he does it. And best of all, he makes some really good food.
Yeah, it looks delicious. And he's hilarious.
Like, yeah, he's got a Big A breakfast burrito that he makes on his Instagram page that just looks freaking delicious. It looks downright delicious, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I see what you did there. Well done, John. Well done.
Which one of these buttons is that?
I'll take it. I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. This thing's got all sorts of things. I'm scared. One of these I'm going to press and it's like long. I think this one's clapping.
What? We need more of that.
Yeah.
Is there a laugh track?
There's the drums. A little funky. A little funky town.
Okay. All right. Wow.
We can get a laugh track on here.
That would help me out, just because then I know when I'm killing it, That'll work.
Do that for you today.
Thank you.
Glad to bring the pre-programmed sound effects. But anyways, if you're not following Drew, go check him out. Again, it's down.rightdelicious.
Very funny. Very cool. Very delicious.
Wash your damn hands.
Yeah, he says that every time. He's
got a t-shirt with it on that I desperately want. Haley, if you're listening, get the merch.
Get the merch.
So, I guess, Mike, we can do this a couple of ways. We can go through the feedback we got. You've got a list of things that you want to cook on the grill. Should we maybe talk about that? Get people excited about this idea?
Let's do that and get kind of before we get into the boring stuff. So I've only cooked on my Camp Chef griddle when we're camping. So I've done breakfast burritos, things like that. But I've been watching some things that people cook on these flat top griddles. Like, it's insane. Like, the Philly cheesesteaks look amazing. I watched a guy make like an Italian, I don't even know what you'd call it, an Italian sandwich, I guess. Like a warm Italian sandwich. Watched a guy make those beef and cheddars that you get at Arby's. Cook that on a flat top. Like, there are a ton of things.
And the fried rice.
Yeah.
So I served my mission in Peru. I think we've talked a little bit about this. I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and lived in Lima, Peru. I was actually only in Lima for a couple of months, and then I was out in the rainforest, but that's a whole different part of the story. But they've got food carts on the street everywhere that sell nothing but fried rice. And it was awesome, man. I love fried rice. Like, whole meals, like, all you need is fried rice.
That's crazy, because I went to Wisconsin. There was a guy from Peru that I did exchanges with that made me some fried rice. It was phenomenal. I didn't realize it was such a big thing over there.
Arroz chipa. Yeah, boy.
It was very good.
Yeah, we talk about, like, America. I say America. This is the other thing that people in South America really hate is, like, we call ourselves Americans.
Oh, we stole America from them, huh?
Yeah, there's more than just the United States of America.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'd tell them. Yeah, but we're the only ones that call ourselves that, so what are you going to do about it?
All right, America.
We talk about it being the melting pot. Man, there were so many different cultures in Peru, and, like, I hear a lot about different Latin American countries, and We can talk about World War II, since that's the other thing that 35-year-old men are supposed to be really big on. But that the end of World War II drove a lot of that. So
yeah.
Anyways, there's our culture for the day.
Yes, our geopolitics, if you will.
Yep.
You've got along with that fried rice. Like I've seen people do like hibachi style stuff. Like that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and you've got on here smash burgers.
Yeah,
dude, I love smash burgers.
I have never had one. I made some in my cast iron skillet. Like, I guess it's been a few months now, but they're awesome. Yeah. Like I'm a big fan.
Have you you were in the Midwest? Mm-hmm. You ever hit White Castle?
I haven't, no.
Oh, White Castle is like the ultimate flat top burger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a whole science behind the way they do their burgers, but their patties have holes in them.
Okay.
So that the steam comes up and it doesn't like make their patty all wonky and stuff. Huh. But then they fill those holes as they're cooking with onions that get grilled, and they use mustard like right on the grill.
Oh, wow.
If you like mustard and onions, it is the best hamburger.
Huh.
Plus, they're like bite-sized, so you can eat like 100 of them.
Yeah, see, that's all I've heard about White Castle is they have the little sliders. So obviously that turned me off a little bit. But
No. You just like roll up and you're like, I need 20 sliders. My dad's
like a 20-piece nugget.
Yeah, my dad's got a buddy who used to tell a story about pulling up at like 1 o'clock in the morning after they'd been driving before you got on a plane and flew around for work. They'd drive sometimes. And they pulled up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. White Castle was a 24-hour place. Can we get 100 sliders?
I would hate him.
Oh, and they did. Like they were like, I'm sorry. Did you say 100 sliders? Yes, 100 sliders. Sir, that's going to be a minute.
Oh. I worked at McDonald's in high school, and we'd have a bus come like after a football game, right after for Big Mac Monday. So I guess maybe it wasn't football, but a bus for something. And they ordered 100 Big Macs, and I was the only one in the grill. It was hardcore.
Woof.
I was not excited. But have you seen Smash Tacos?
I've seen a couple of videos on them.
Yeah. Kind of the same idea, but you put your tortilla on top and smash it. Like, it looks pretty interesting.
I know. Unpopular opinion.
Ooh.
I don't really like ground beef.
What?
Like, I like hamburgers. Don't get me wrong. Like, hamburgers are the one thing I really like ground beef on, but I don't do ground beef tacos very often. Like, we do a lot of chicken tacos. A lot of, like, pork, like, carnitas, pulled pork, reused tacos.
I guess ground beef tacos, I mean, I don't mean to sound elitist, but it's kind of like the baseline. And then everything else is kind of a step up from there. Like, if I went to a taco truck and I got ground beef tacos, I think I'd be pretty upset.
Right?
If I went to Taco Bell, I would expect ground beef tacos. Interesting.
Yeah. So I've seen the smash tacos. All of the ones I've seen have been ground beef, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how excited I want to be about them.
Yeah, that's fair. I've seen some birria tacos that people have done it with.
Dude.
That looks pretty good.
I finally got myself off the kick. But there was a while, like, anytime I saw birria tacos on a sign, like, I pulled the car over.
Yeah.
Like, I freaking love birria.
They're good. Very good. Other weird things. Popcorn. Have you seen popcorn on a griddle?
I haven't. How do you...
So they throw down some some oil.
Yeah.
Right? And then just kernels. And then there's a lid.
Okay.
So they put it over and then just kind of move it around.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It starts popping.
I can see that. I was like, how do you contain that?
Yeah.
Like,
it was pretty interesting because the lady put the lid on top. I mean, it's a big lid, like a 9x13 or bigger. And she put it over there. And then as she's moving it around, you can hear it popping. And she moves the lid. There's just like an astronomical amount of popcorn on there. It was kind of cool looking.
That's crazy.
She melted Skittles down and then mixed it together. I wasn't a fan of that part, but
no,
I don't know. Maybe it's good.
I mean, I'm a big fan of like stove popcorn.
Hmm.
Like I hate. That's almost the only way I'll eat popcorn anymore.
Hmm.
I know I'm extra.
Well, you have that fancy popcorn maker that we made over here that one time. You put like coconut oil down, and it like moves around. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, the one that somebody dropped the bowl and it broke, and now it's pointless.
Oh, bummer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I've got one of the like pans with the hand crank on it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, bought a cheap one, wore that out, and for Christmas a year or two ago, Haley got me the nice stainless steel, like solid, never gonna wear out one.
Oh, cool.
So
I've never seen one of those.
Yeah, but no, it's great because you throw your sugar in the bottom or your caramel, whatever, and you like get really good. Get great results there. The other thing that I saw in here, loaded potatoes.
Dude, it looks phenomenal.
I've been playing Mr. Mom this week.
Uh-huh.
I have always respected my wife for the work she does in the home, and I call it work with intention. Mm-hmm. There's not enough money in the world to make me a stay-at-home dad.
Heck no, man. I've only done it a few days at a time, and I'm like, I'm good. I need to go back to work. Love my kids, but I could never be home with them all the time.
Well, and it's not even that it's the kids are being home. Like, there's no break. Mm-mm. Like, I go to work, and like, I have a job that like is hard and like is demanding, and I put in 9 or 10 or 11 hours at work, but then I come home and I can like shut my brain off a little bit. Even if I'm doing emails or getting phone calls or something, I can still like, there's that separation. Like, there is no separation. Like, I wake up and my kids need something, and when they go to bed, like, then I've got to like finish working on dishes and making like, what are we going to eat tomorrow? And it is exhausting. So to all of you stay-at-home parents, men, women, all of you, whoever you are, whatever circumstance, props to you.
Well done. Very well done.
Yeah. And the ones that do both, like, that's a whole nother level. Impressive.
Very.
Very impressive.
We say that with utmost sincerity. Yeah. Like, it is pretty incredible.
But I bring that up because last night, as I was laying in bed at 12:15, not falling asleep, watching TV, Arby's has loaded French fries that have like chicken and bacon and cheddar and I saw that and I was like, oh, you can make that on flat top. And then I saw this morning you had this on had it on the sheet. I'm all about loaded potatoes.
Me too. Yeah, it looked really good. It's basically like a giant hash, but you could put whatever you want in with them. I thought about using leftover pulled pork or something like that, throwing them in the potatoes. Sounds pretty good to me.
Dude, hash is maybe one of the like most underrated things in the whole world.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know part of it is like canned corned beef hash kind of looks and smells like Alpo. Like, I say that like it's in my food storage. I love corned beef hash. Nobody else in my family will eat it. My dad got me hooked on it when I was a kid. And like, I love it. There's nothing better than waking up in the morning and having like a real crispy corned beef hash with an egg fried over the top of it, eating it on toast. Like,
I don't think I've ever had corned beef hash.
Dude.
You just pour it out of a can into the pan and fry it up?
You've got a dog, like, you know what canned dog food looks like, right?
Sure do. You're not selling it very well, but go on.
And it doesn't sell itself, man. Like, you open it up and you're like, cold, congealed, like fat potatoes. It doesn't smell great either. Like, it's like everything.
Sounds like the total package, John. This is sounding real good.
Everything about it, you're just like, no, Hormel, you did me wrong. You mixed up the lines.
Oh.
And then you like start to fry it up and like it starts to crisp and like it ends up being like one of the best things ever.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I'll one of these weeks when you come over. This is why you watch the YouTube, everybody. You miss a lot when you only listen to the podcast. Make sure you hit the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Corned beef hash sounds disgusting. I'm going to be honest with you.
One of these weeks when you come over, we'll have corned beef hash before the show.
Oh, I don't know.
And you can tell everyone how spectacular it is.
I mean, in my mind, I'm like, oh, but that's what I thought about Danny. When you're like, yeah, I was going to cook us some lamb. I was like, lamb in the morning? What the... First of all, gross.
The way you just said that. The way you just said that. That's what I thought about Danny. Hard pause.
Okay, wait. Not Danny, but when he cooked lamb for us before the podcast episode, 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, I was like, gross. But it was actually really good. So
lamb's freaking good.
Yeah. The way he cooked it, I got some of that seasoning he used, and I'm a big fan. I use it on a lot of stuff. I've
got some lamb in the fridge that I'm going to cook this week that I'm super excited for.
Right on.
All right. Well,
yeah. Let's get into.
Let's get into
the nitty gritty.
Yeah. So we sent an email to three prominent companies in the space. Loco Cookers, which is based out of Columbus, Georgia, I learned.
I feel like you see them at a lot of the... I'm thinking like Home Depot, right? All those places.
Yeah. Home Depot's got them. I think Lowe's sells them too. I don't know. Are you a Lowe's or a Home Depot?
Dude, I go back and forth. When I was finishing my basement, I found that Lowe's usually had everything I was looking for. So I went there more. But if I'm going somewhere, I almost always go to Home Depot.
Yeah. I think it depends on what I'm buying. But I feel like Lowe's is generally a little more expensive.
Yeah. I can see that.
But I also think it's funny that like there's a very like you're a Home Depot guy or you're a Lowe's guy.
Yeah.
Like there's very few people are like you that are like, I don't know, I just go to whichever one's closer. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very specific.
Yeah.
I've had good experiences at both, bad experiences at both. So
yeah, likewise. So Loco Cookers, we reached out to them. They've got some really cool technology. We reached out to Blackstone, which Blackstone's actually here in Cache Valley, Utah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know this was like I knew there was a store here. I didn't know that this is where they started.
Yeah, this is
very cool.
This is where they're headquartered. And then we also, I couldn't do this and not reach out to Traeger.
Obviously.
I'm a Traeger guy. I love Traeger.
How long has the Flat Rock been around? That's a newer thing, right?
It just came out. It's maybe been out for like 2 months.
Okay.
Maybe
That's
3.
what I thought.
Yeah, that was a new launch this year in 2023. I think they launched in February or March.
Okay.
So
cool.
Reached out to each of them and just said like, hey, we're gonna talk about this on a podcast episode. These are the brands we're reaching out to. Like, what is your differentiator? If you had 2 or 3 things that you'd want our listeners to hear, what would they be? And, based on this and the feedback we get from the podcast, like, I'm personally in the market and will probably be buying one. So, yeah.
And then surprisingly, they all sent each of us their top of the line models to try out. And it's been really informative.
Yeah. So thank you to the less than 300 followers we have on Instagram that justified that for them.
You guys made this happen. Just kidding.
Dude,
That would have been awesome, though. Can you imagine?
No. So no free merch. No. And that's fine. Like we weren't.
Yeah.
I almost put something in like, please don't send us anything. We just want the information. Like,
right. Yeah, and I joke like I say, I like being like kind of from the consumer perspective of.
Yeah, you made this point as we were talking, as we were getting ready to start. Like, we're the buyer right now.
Yeah,
we don't have any preconceived or like informed knowledge to
Right.
bias us.
Or like just how my daddy did it or whatever. Like we're very open-minded and just trying to read into the features. So
yeah. Whereas if you're buying a pellet grill, like I am very biased towards Traeger. Why? This is when Haley left town. She took my phone and she set several alarms for me, so I didn't forget of things I had to do.
What's this one say? Continue podcast.
No, I'm supposed to check on our chickens.
Oh,
but I did that last night, so they're fine.
Are they outside?
They're in the garage now.
Nice. I put mine outside last night. I'm a little nervous about it.
Did you check on them before you came over?
They're fine.
They're fine?
I'm mostly just worried about my dog. So
Duke.
Yeah. If I go home to blood and carnage. Luckily, I'll think about a brand new flat top to cook them on.
Yeah, it took me long enough to like be able to eat the eggs. I'm not sure I want to do meat birds.
I don't think I could either.
Haley and one of her brothers have talked about doing meat birds, and I just
not so much. Huh?
Yeah,
can't really get attached to them. I feel like I'm kind of excited to like hang out with them because that's where I'm at with my life. But if I was like, oh, you're gonna be delicious, I think
kids,
I'd have a hard
just
time
wait for
that.
your 30s. The things that make you happy.
Living the freaking dream, you guys. All right. What do you want to start with, John?
Why don't we? I don't care. You pick one.
Let's start with Loco.
I
feel like that's a good one to start with, right?
Yeah. And I think out of all of them, Loco probably has the most impressive technology.
Yeah.
Or at least they talk about their technology in a way that makes it the most impressive.
Right.
Yeah. And let's see where they call it their IQ temperature regulation technology.
Yeah. So a little different than just low, medium, high, right? Like you set a temperature.
Yeah. So on all of these, like you've got knobs to turn and control. The Traeger and the Blackstone. It's a lot like your kitchen stove. Like you turn it on, there's a high, there's a low, there's
places in between.
The Loco has a digital control on it that you can control in 25-degree increments. And then what I thought was really impressive is they've got thermocouplers, which are, it's a fancy word for thermometer that sends it like a signal back, like it's
sensor that
it's a sensor for heat. And it's taking temperature readings from each section of the grill and then sending that back to a little microprocessor that it turns the gas flow on and off based on what temperature it is and what temperature you have set to it.
Yeah.
So it's able to like dial in and get real precise.
Which is pretty impressive because, and they mentioned in their response to us, like those high, low, whatever are pretty subject to temperature fluctuations, like based on a lot of different factors. So having a sensor that just continuously keeps that where you want it is, I could see how that would be very helpful.
If the wind starts blowing, ambient temperature, like high when it's 100 degrees outside is very different than high when it's negative 15 degrees, which, I mean, folks, if it's negative 15, you probably shouldn't be outside using a flat top, but
I could see us doing it.
I can totally see myself doing it, like bundled up in a parka trying to stay warm. But that was like, I love technology. Like, and any way you can use technology to make your life simpler, I think is just awesome. And then the other cool thing about Loco is they've got white grills, which make them pop and stand out. Yeah. Almost anywhere you're at.
They really look cool.
They look so sharp.
I was walking through it with my kids, and I had never heard of them. This was probably 6 months ago. And we walked by. I think we were at Home Depot. I can't remember, but I was like, ooh, what is that? Like, very interesting looking, and it looks good. Like, it looks really nice. I wonder if it would be kind of gross to try to keep clean once your grill gets seasoned and you're greasy and stuff like that.
I don't think the exterior will be hard to keep clean. Like it's a nice. I went and looked at them this week at Home Depot, and like it's a nice powder coated like sheet metal that I think as long as you wipe it down from time to time, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it'll have any issue. I mean, the underside of the hood, and like I think it's worth talking about. Like all of these have hoods that you can pull down over the top of them. Mm-hmm. Those hoods are not intended to be used while cooking.
Yeah.
They're all like, it's just there to cover the griddle while it's being stored. So you shouldn't even have like a lot of soot or anything build up underneath it.
Sense. Yeah.
Because the lids are open, and that'll help it from warping too. But the one thing that I think is worth calling out, that I don't know if it's a drawback or not, the Loco has to be plugged in.
Oh, I don't think I knew that. Because of all their smart
because of the technology. And the Traeger requires power too, but you can run the Traeger off of a 9-volt battery, I found out. Oh. Wow. Or you can plug it in. But yeah, the Loco has to be plugged into a plug.
Interesting.
So something to just keep in mind if you're considering buying one of these. Like, I know it's something that I think about. I mean, pellet grills are the same way. You can't just take them and use them wherever. Like, you got to have power.
Right. And one thing that we didn't put on the show notes that I was just thinking, we should maybe talk about price a little bit, just to get as we're comparing, which I think is going to depend on where you're at and scratch and dent cells, stuff like that. But,
yeah. So the Loco, the 3-burner at Home Depot, I think was $700
on their website. I think it's 700. It says 7. 36-inch 3-burner. They have a little tabletop that you can get for $250 though.
Interesting.
So,
does it have the same?
It does. There's just one burner. It's got one of those green propane bottles you hook to it. Nice. Yeah, it looks similar.
I was wrong. It's $799. It's $800.
Yeah,
for the 3-burner.
That's what their website says. $799. So
yep. The cool thing about Loco though is if you really like buy one and you love the technology, they've got a bunch of different cookers to include a charcoal kettle.
Oh, really?
It uses the same technology.
Oh, wow.
Except instead of like turning the gas on and off, it opens and closes the dampers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, they've got them at Home Depot. Huh. I was looking at it. It looks kind of cool.
Very cool.
So, that's Loco. I think we hit. This is the other thing. The grease management.
Oh yeah.
On it is
which is a big deal with a griddle, because it's not like it's falling through the grates or anything. Like, it's just there.
Yep. Yeah, and there's drains to the front. That was one of the things. It says, release the grease, the drain hole design. The cooking surface on a Loco griddle is designed to let excess grease flow to the corner where it drains through a small hole into a reservoir where it is stored. This minimizes surface grease and eliminates the possibility for excessively greasy food.
So. Kind of reminds me of Camp Chef griddle. Mm-hmm. Just kind of flows forward into the grease tray with a little hole on the side.
Yeah, so. And I didn't realize this. I don't know why I didn't even think about this, but Camp Chef also has flat top griddles.
Oh, like electric ones? Or no, propane ones.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got it. It looks like they use the exact same griddle design that you can get for your camp stoves. Mm-hmm. So very similar there.
Oh, I haven't even looked at their stuff.
Yep.
I've just assumed that they were kind of the OG camp stoves, and they just stuck with that. But I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but the grease drain on this is they're calling out as a differentiator. The thing that I like about the Loco is the grease drains to the front, and then there's just like a little drawer you can pull out on the side, so it's not open or exposed. Like, you're probably not going to spill it. Mm-hmm. The drawer looked a little small on the videos. I didn't look at it in store, but I think you could get creative if you want to just like pull the drawer and put a bigger pan underneath. Mm-hmm. So
okay,
that's Loco.
Loco. Should we go back to? You want to do Blackstone?
Let's do Blackstone.
Let's talk about Blackstone. So most of Blackstone's like draw, I think, is what this guy's saying. First of all, I think Blackstone's super popular. Like you see them all over. If you're looking up griddle cooking on YouTube, I dare say most of what you're going to find are going to be people with Blackstones. I feel like they've been in the market for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if they're the OGs. Like, I don't know if they're the first one that went to market with it. Mm-hmm. I think they definitely have the largest market share.
Yeah.
At least the way all the algorithms push everything to me. Like, I see more Blackstones than I see anything else.
Yeah. Which is crazy that they started right here and now they're I dare say like nationwide company for sure.
Oh yeah, they're like top line revenue is $500 million.
That'd be all right.
So somebody told me last week.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, their big thing is their value. They like to like you can buy them direct to consumer and save a little bit of money. That way.
Yeah, well, that and it's not a Loco essentially has two sizes. Or I guess they've got a tabletop unit. Mm-hmm. Traeger has one size. Camp Chef has a couple of sizes, I think, but Blackstone has several different sizes, so you can get what you need based on your needs and your budget. They've got a 17-inch model that you can get for less than $100.
Yeah.
Or you can go top of the line and spend $900 with something that's got air fryers and
what the heck? Like built-in air fryers?
I know.
That's crazy.
I saw that. I watched a couple of videos. People say they haven't used them as much as they thought they would. Uh-huh. But I don't know, man. We eat a lot of French fries.
Yeah.
And the idea of being able to cook some French fries in an air fryer outside and not have my whole house stink like fries. Uh-huh. Sounds kind of cool.
It looks kind of cool. It's a 4-burner and then it's got just a couple air fryer drawers right underneath it.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I spent more time focusing on the griddle. I really want to go back and watch some videos about the air fryer.
Yeah.
I've got to assume they have to be plugged in. Like there's got to be a fan in there somewhere.
Yeah. I think you're probably right.
But it is pretty impressive, just the versatility and the differences that Blackstone offers. And they really are, of all the grills we looked at, they have the best value proposition, I think, in terms of getting the job done for the least amount of money. Yeah.
And the accessories they have with it, because they've been around for so long. Like, I'm just looking right now at some of the accessories you can buy. Loco was like this too, but they have full products that you can buy to go with it. They have stuff for pizza. They have lids for popcorn, like I said, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I could spend a lot of money at Blackstone.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that they called out. I swapped emails with their VP of marketing who shared this with us, that the bullet point that he had on here was Blackstone has the largest ecosystem of accessories and tools to unlock more food variety. Our accessories are all designed to enhance the griddle experience, while our digital content is there to help expand consumers' cooking possibilities.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yep. Yeah. So, I'm really excited about all the potential. I kind of want to. I've been teasing Haley that she's going to come home to a griddle when she comes back from this trip.
Do it. You deserve it, John. You worked hard, okay?
I'm not gonna lie. I was going to, and Costco is out of Blackstones.
Well played, Costco. Well played. You may have
There
saved a marriage.
There were two there when I went earlier this week, and then, man, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
The boys and I have been cooking the whole time she's gone. We did picanha on Thursday. We had maybe some of the best ribs of my entire life last night. I was going to bring you some. I cooked 3 racks. One rack went to my parents. And then between my boys and I, and look, I'm not saying they ate it all. I did my fair share too. But my 4, 7, and almost 10-year-old, between the 3 of them, ate more than a rack of ribs.
Oh, dude, that makes my soul happy.
Yeah, we had 3 ribs left.
That's awesome.
And I don't know if this is a spoiler alert or not, because I just realized we probably ought to talk about this on the show at some point. But from each of these cooks, I've taken part of the part of the leftovers, and vacuum packed them and put them in the freezer to try a reheat. So the only 3 ribs that were left were all I had for my vacuum packing experiment.
That's
so
fair. I'm not offended, but I'm glad the boys ate them.
You should be offended. They were, did a 3-2-1 method. And they were so good. They were super good.
I need to get on my rib game again.
Yeah. Anyways, when we went on Wednesday, when I was really tempted, I was like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to use it before. Yeah, they were out.
Yeah.
So.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played.
So, still looking. But it is hard to argue with the value, and the quality seems to be there.
Yeah.
I looked at the one at Costco. The number of people that have them and the lack of bad things you hear about them.
Right. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, and I've seen lots of them on the classifieds or on Facebook Marketplace that are, 3-4 years old. And the griddles aren't warped, they're not severely discolored, they look pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Well, John, now's the time. Your time to shine. Tell us about the flat top. Or the flat rock.
The flat rock.
The flat rock.
I have so many mixed feelings about the flat rock.
Okay.
One, because it seems like a departure from their main product line. I get it. Flat tops are really popular right now. Traeger needs to tap into that market. It makes sense from that perspective, but it does feel like a departure from their
what got them here.
Yeah, their core business, which is okay. And I'm not upset with that. They sent us 3 bullet points. 2 of them I think are really tied together. And the other one is just they call it their PAL, or pop and lock accessory rail. So they spent a lot of time thinking about how you could connect things to hold your spatulas or add a shelf or, do X, Y, or Z. That they've got a method there. That I think is just kind of it is what it is. It's not something that got me super excited. What I did think was really cool is the way that they've isolated the zones on their grill. That it's not just a flat griddle with 3 burners underneath it. There's actually kind of little compartments built with dividers that allow you to have better control over the temperature in each section of the grill.
Okay.
And rather than having one burner that runs down the middle, it's a U-shaped burner in each section. Are really the two call outs. They call it their true zone temperature control. Says features 3 distinct insulated cooking zones separated by heat shields that go above and beyond to protect heat from bleeding from one zone to another. So you can cook at different temperatures ranging from 350 to 600 simultaneously with everything prepared and timed to perfection.
Yeah, I'm looking at some pictures on their website of, I don't know, it looks like fajitas. So they've got just tortillas warming on one zone. They're cooking their vegetables on the other zone, and then they've got their meat cooking on the other zone. Like, interesting.
Yeah, which I think is a really important thing.
Yeah.
And the, let's say the U-shaped burner, it says features doubles the direct flame cooking surface to ensure even heat distribution across the entire cooking top, allowing customers to maximize the cooking space, which I think is great. Like,
yeah,
the more you can get direct flame on the grill, like, it's true, you'll have a better control over the heat. The two things that they didn't talk about that I think are pretty cool and are part of the reason I've been drawn to Traeger overall in general. Well, one, the grease management. Grease management comes off a spot in the front, and then there is just a bucket underneath. So it's looks like it's about the same size as the drip bucket on their other grills, on their pellet grills. Like, it is solid, it is underneath, it is attached, locked in. Like, that thing's not going to fall off, and you're probably not going to overflow it, which, if you're cooking a bunch of bacon or doing a lot of cooking, I could see the Loco overflowing.
And it's just that little drawer there.
And I could see the Blackstone overflowing. The one thing we didn't talk about on the Blackstone that I don't know how I feel about, I think I know how I feel about it, but like, I need to see one. I need to use one to really. The grease tray is on the back.
Okay.
Which doesn't seem like a big deal, but when I think about it being out on my deck,
up against the railing,
push towards the railing, now I've got to pull the whole grill out, reach back there. Like, my deck is already too full because I have too many cookers out there to begin with. Like, it's just going to be kind of cumbersome and a pain in the butt that a couple of people called it out in different reviews I watched. Like, I think it's fair. Like, not having it on the front, I think, might be a design flaw.
That makes sense. But I mean, it's not like you're doing it like while you're cooking, so you don't have to scoot out a hot thing, right?
I don't know. I mean, I've had to empty my tin can of grease on my camp shelf when I've been true. Like, you're cooking a bunch of bacon or a bunch of sausage or something in the morning, and you got grease going. Like, especially when you're cooking a lot of bacon, like, that's a lot of grease you got to deal with.
Right.
So, I think Traeger did that right. They've got a huge bucket comparatively. The other thing that I've always appreciated about Traeger is just how solid they feel.
Yeah.
Like,
heavy and well made.
Yeah. It is a thicker steel than anybody else has. Like, you grab onto it, and this isn't to say that the Blackstone or the Locos feel like they're going to fall apart.
Yeah.
But, like, it is so solid. It's kind of like at Home Depot, like, you open the lid to a Weber and, like, you're like, that's a lid, it's not going to go anywhere. And then you open the next grill next to it, and it's like like it moves and it's smooth, but there's a significant difference in weight, and just that weight and sturdiness feels like quality.
Yeah.
So I really like that about the Flat Rock. And then I think the other cool thing I mentioned earlier is it does have an electronic igniter and flame detection to make sure that it doesn't blow out. That needs to be plugged in, but you have the option of running it off of a 9-volt battery.
Just a little 9-volt like smoke detector battery, huh?
Yep.
Interesting.
So,
and retail price?
It's $900.
$900, huh?
That is the hard part to swallow.
Yeah.
Like, that's $900 just for the flat top. Like, you can spend $900 on a Blackstone.
Yeah.
but it's got air fryers and a whole bunch of other features that make it seem like you're getting a lot more.
Right.
Like I think the most expensive, it looks like you've got it up right there.
Yeah, this is just at Walmart though. But I'm looking at the 4-burner Blackstone with the air fryers and a hood. Walmart has it for $647. So
yeah, I'm on the Blackstone website, and these are the electrics, the 1722s. Yeah, 36-inch griddle air fryer. Looks like this has 3 air fryer drawers, is $800.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of accessories you could buy with that extra $100 or $200 or $300 depending on what you find it.
You could buy a whole nother cooker for that amount.
Yeah, that's true. You could buy 2 of them.
Yeah, that's where it gets hard. Like, I'd love to have another Traeger on my deck just because I have a bunch of Traegers.
Right.
I think it's really hard to make that argument to my wife.
Yeah. Especially when there's quality products. Like, Blackstone's not garbage for significantly less. So, gun to your head. What do you choose? You have to buy it.
I'm probably buying a Blackstone.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at, too.
Yeah. Money's not a question. Money's not an issue. I'm buying a Flat Rock.
Yeah. Really? Over the Blackstone? Because of the name, or what set you over the edge? The durability or the...
What, like, I think, one, I like just the big, solid feel of the product.
Uh-huh.
I do think that the heat shields to separate the different cooking zones is a pretty big deal. And I've talked to, like, Molly talked about his. I've talked to a couple of other of the Traeger guys that have them. Like, it seems like it works pretty well. And I think that is it would be really nice to have my hot spot and then have a warm spot just to kind of keep things going. But honestly, I think it's the grease management is like the big piece for me.
Really?
Yeah. I worked at a fast food place too. Well, it wasn't really fast food. It's called Valentino's. It was the only pizza and hot sub shop in Brookline, New Hampshire when I was in high school. I was the town's very first pizza delivery boy.
Oh, that's quite the honor, John.
I know.
Well done.
You're welcome, Brookline. I am the reason you have delivery today. But man, when I'd work the grill, like if that grease drawer filled up and you didn't drain it, like it was guaranteed to be a mess.
Yeah. Gross and a huge mess.
Well, yeah, we had a tiny, tiny kitchen. Like when you open the doors to the refrigerators, like you couldn't walk past the prep table. Like we had one big prep table that they made pizzas on. We had the grill station, and it was, I don't know, probably a 48-inch, maybe it was 50-inch, like 55-inch flat top grill, 2 fryer baskets, and our pizza oven. And like when there were 6 of us in the kitchen, like there was no room for anybody else. Had a couple of guys prepping pizzas, somebody on the grill, and then somebody at the oven, and then a couple of girls that were up front working the register. I guess we did cold subs up front too. But if you spilt that grease bucket on the floor Friday night, like
huge mess.
Oh, and everybody hated you.
Yeah.
It was like trying to stop and clean that up in the middle of the rush. And like you can like leave it there, even with all the rubber mats, people were sliding all over the place. So the grease management's a big thing, and I think Traeger's probably doing it the best right now.
Yeah.
So
noted.
You? What are you doing?
I think I gotta go Blackstone. I think I have no hate for either of the other two. Like, it'd be awesome, but I love that it's local. That just makes my heart happy. But yeah, I think I would go Blackstone for sure. So
Very cool.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Next time you see us, they will have sent us brand new products of all these, and we'll have tried them.
we're talking to you, Blackstone. Look us up.
Please.
No, but if everyone would please comment, tag our wives, and tell them why we need a.
Yeah. I feel like we've made some compelling arguments. That's basically what this episode was trying to convince our wives. So.
It's one less thing you have to clean, and yet another reason to get me to help cook.
There you go. I'm on board.
So, there you go. Alrighty. Well, until next time, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
And this is Fat Guys with Smokers. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.